So, very huge, warm, rainbow-filled welcome, Jess Bays. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're very welcome.
So to start off with, I mean, I know what I'm doing. It's technically it's vampire season for gingers
I feel
because the
you.
sun is burning outside and like you were just saying, like you're scared to go outside. I'm petrified myself, so
I
I feel
feel
it.
you, dude, on so many levels. It's horrible. We shouldn't moan about this weather in
We
the
really
UK,
shouldn't.
but as soon as the sun comes out, I'm like, no, 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 no.
We're in Britain. That's what we do best. We moan.
Moan about everything. We're never happy.
Happy Pride Month. It is now
Yay!
officially Pride Month, which is so exciting. So what do you do to celebrate Pride? To start off with, what sort of activities do you get up to?
I often play the majority of all the big Pride events.
You did Birmingham.
I just did Birmingham, and then next week I'm doing Manchester,
Yep.
and then I'm doing something at London as well. So yeah, I think it's just the most magical time. And actually saw online recently, I think it was yesterday, somebody say that why do we deserve a whole month to celebrate?
Why
So
not?
what was that comparison? That comparison was, why do you guys get a whole month when war veterans only get one day, Remembrance Day? And we were just like, that right there is why. Like, we're not saying that we are war veterans. We're different people in the whole world. We just deserve a month because you guys don't have to have the coming out party, the stress. You don't have to go up to your parents and say, hi, I'm straight. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go through all of those emotions. So yeah, Pride to me is always so special. And me and my partner have been together for 12 years now, but when we first got together, it was a bit tricky for us. So to be able to be so comfortable now and celebrate it and just be so accepted is just incredible.
I was going to say because that was actually my next question: is what Pride means to you? I mean, what if you could sum up what Pride means to you personally? How would
I
you?
think it just means being comfortable in who you are and not ashamed to be who you are, like unapologetically yourself. Um, I'm not. Me and my partner are just, we're so happy genuinely, and I wouldn't ever change my journey for the world, even though there have been some moments of where people don't get it. And do you know what? There's way more to life than worrying about somebody's sexuality. We've got
Exactly.
AI to worry about, for example, that's coming in with the robots, you know? Don't
Exactly.
worry about who somebody loves, you know?
Yeah.
And genuinely, as well, for me, Pride is about trans because I really think that trans are like one of the bravest people to walk the planet. To be able to be born in the body that you think is wrong and then go through all of that change when the majority of the population just don't get it,
Yeah.
like they just don't understand and they don't support it. But I just think so proud, and Pride is literally like about celebrating everybody different.
So where did you get this confidence from? Because you're a very confident performer. You're a very outgoing person. Where did the confidence come from?
I think it came from a lot of like thick skin situations.
Yeah.
My friend Sam Divine, when I was starting with her, like what is nearly 10 years ago now, was something that she always drilled into me, that you need to have a thick skin. And she said, if there's anything, like, say, when I was her tour manager, for example, if I had ever done anything wrong, she said, I'm not going to go easy on you. Like, I need to prepare you. And I have her to thank for a lot of this confidence that's inside me now, because it's made me not kind of take any rubbish from anyone now.
Yeah.
But it has taken a lot to get there, and it's not something that happens overnight for sure. And as soon as you believe in what you're doing, it radiates. It just radiates out of you.
So have you ever been in any situations where your sexuality, being a member of the LGBT community, being very confident, has impacted your career as a DJ, as an artist? Has
You
there
know
ever
what?
been any situations that have been a little tricky or that you've lost because of that?
I haven't actually lost. If anything, I think I've gained.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what it is. I like to say it's boys' club in the industry because it's just all the boys that book each other on the lineups, and there's never any girls. And last week, one of a big residencies in Ibiza was announced, and I counted 105 artists, and 6 were girls. 6 out of that. So I think for me, it's worked in my favor because the boys look at me like one of them because I
Yeah.
like the same gender as them. So I don't think they ever think there's an issue. Not that there is an issue between genders, but realistically, there is something there. But whereas the girls that are like straight, very pretty, you know, like they don't get booked as much, and it's well disgusting that that is the case. But I think my sexuality has worked in my favour.
Wow, that's great. I mean,
Very strange.
that is fantastic. It is strange, but it's sort of like if it's
Very
helped your
strange.
career, then
Yeah, I
amazing.
think so. It's actually helped me.
So what growing up? I mean, what sort of growing up? I mean, I think we're around the same age. You know, there weren't that many people to sort of look at, you know, in the public eye. You know,
Yeah, no.
celebrities were a lot more sort of reclusive, or you know, there was a lot of maybe a little bit of speculation, but they weren't out there like they are today.
Yeah, 100%.
Who were your role models, and why were they role models to you at the time growing up?
Do you know what? I didn't actually know I was gay until I would say 18, 19. When I look back now and think back, I was in the closet, but like I was still dating guys, and like Jade been my only girl partner. And there wasn't anything that I thought I needed a role model for until I navigated coming out towards like my early 20s. And as I was coming out, I went straight into music. So for me, it was about looking at artists that were role models more. And I find Honey Dijon just absolutely incredible. Like she's such a force, and she just doesn't care about anything. She's just so unapologetically herself, trans, just a force. And so to watch her do what she does and just be so out and proud was just like incredible for me to see.
So what sort of topics, you know, I mean, it's all fair and good, companies around, you know, you notice, like, as you're just watching TV or walking down the street, you notice that companies and big corporations start promoting pride, you know, but it can be, and most times it's very short-lived. You know, they might stick a pride flag on a shop window or whatnot. But what do you think outside of these things that companies and people in general outside of the LGBT community could be doing to support us
I
during
think
month
they
and
just
during throughout the year?
yeah, I think, do you know what it is? They just need to appreciate that it is there 24/7 for us. Like,
Yeah.
not something like, yeah, we get the month to really celebrate it, but it's not something that just goes away for the rest of the 11 months of the year. It's not like just that one month we get to celebrate it. So I think maybe more needs to come into place in terms of like ownership with homophobia, especially within the workplace, because it is there. Like it's rank. Like that people would do that to somebody. Just I
Yeah.
saw again yesterday one of my friends posted online about celebrating Pride, and the whole comments below were just negative. There was no positivity. It was just, and then he ended up replying to all of them saying, "This is exactly why I posted what I posted, like this right
Yeah.
here." I think it's a very tricky question to answer because I don't think we're even a quarter of the way to where we need to be with being proud and pride, and a lot of work needs to be done. A lot.
That leads me perfectly to the next question, and I'm going to start this with a little bit of a story, because during doing these Pride interviews, one of the reasons why we're doing it is not just to celebrate Pride Month and LGBT inclusion, but it's also to promote it throughout Sentric. Sentric is a very, like I've described to previous people, it's like a melting pot of equality and diversity. And one of the first interview that we did as part of the series was with James Indigo, and he told a story on his way to the interview with me in the Sentric offices a couple of weeks ago. He was met with a bit of discrimination from a cab driver who wouldn't pick him up because of the way he was dressed, which was it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. You know, these sorts of things are obviously still going on. What do you think?
It's like that in London still for people of colour.
It's crazy. Disgusting. I mean, you've mentioned, you know, homophobia, and you know, with that sort of story in mind as well. And you mentioned at the start of the interview about the trans community. What are the key topics that you think still that needs to be like really properly addressed and resolved when it comes to our community?
I think it's just because people don't understand it. Like they just don't understand the fact that love is just love. If you find your soulmate, I think regardless of the gender, it really doesn't matter. Like what is me loving a girl doing wrong to you? Like what is that really doing to you? Absolutely nothing. So I don't know where we need to take this well, but we're not even beginning to get to where we need to be. I mean, I think it's incredible that Pride is celebrated as much as it is, and we get to do the massive festivals, and they are amazing. They are. Some of the people there that come out of their skin is just epic. Like I love all the flamboyance, all the outfits. It's so much fun. Like all the drag queens, the drag kings, it's just epic. And maybe the straight people need to come to a few of our events and have a bit of a laugh, don't they?
I mean, I was at the Mighty Hoopla Festival last weekend, and I swear to God, Jess, there is still glitter around. Seriously.
I can believe that.
I want to actually talk to you about your stunning fiance, because you got engaged some time ago in Ibiza on a beachside. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. We're currently wedding planning, and it's so exciting. So exciting.
Crazy wedding planning, right?
It is very, very, very expensive. So we're pushing it back another year just because I want to do it right. I don't want to have to just do it. I mean, we are talking a house deposit for a wedding these days, which is disgusting. But we've got old grandparents and they're not getting any younger. So we know we're on a bit of a time limit because we'd like them there. And I think all of our guests are expecting an Ibiza wedding, and we're just like, no, I'm sorry, it's not happening because we can't get our elderly people. But proposing to her was one of the best days of my life. I'd done it before we were younger, maybe 22, and now we're 31. So when I did it when we was 22, we split up for a little bit afterwards because it put so much pressure on us at such a young age. So we had a little bit of time apart, come back together, and then I was like literally waiting to do it again. So I know, and Ibiza is literally our favourite place in the world. So it made sense, and she had no idea, like literally no clue. I was being an absolute freak for 2 weeks before, like anxious, nervous, trying to plan it. I don't know how she did clock. So when we got there, I said that I was going for press shots. So I had a videographer with me, cameraman.
Oh, handy.
So she had no idea. So I just said, I was taking my press shots, and then I just said to Jade, let's get a photo together. Like, come over, let's get a photo together. And then as she like smiled at the camera, I just got down on one knee, and she had no idea. So we caught her like right reaction. And afterwards she said to me, I said, why didn't you know? Because I've been a freak. She was just like, you're always a weirdo. So she didn't even bat an eyelid at me stressing about the engagement. But yeah, we're so happy.
So that's, I mean, Ibiza is a very special place to you, right? Because not just that, I mean, you've got that personal element to it as well.
Yeah.
But also you do a lot of like gigging. I mean, you've done the D4 dance residency that
I've done D4 dance, Ibiza Rocks, Eden. I love it out there. It's just the best place in the world.
DJ's playground, isn't it?
It is literally a DJ's playground.
So what is your favorite type of a gig? What's your favorite gigs that you've been to or performed at?
Do you know what? It is a mixture between the daytime like festival vibes, beach clubs, or the underground clubs. Do you know what? It completely depends on what mood I'm in. If I really want to slam it, it's a nighttime underground show. But if I want to have a nice day in the sun, it's that. I just genuinely love DJing. I'll play in the toilets at high. It's not a bad thing to do. I love my job so much, and I have read a quote the other day that if you love your job, then you'll never work a day in your life, and that's genuinely how I feel. Every day I'm like, I get paid to do this. Like, what?
So is success something that you actively chase, and how do you measure success? Because I've interviewed so many people over the years, and people measure their success in different ways. They measure it out of like chart success or selling out a gig of various size or whatnot. How do you measure success?
Success for me is about me. I've got a vision board over there, and I've got lots of little goals on there that I've had like throughout the 10 years of my career, and just picking them off for me is success. I had this conversation with Jade actually. There's lots of like artists around me that are like blowing and going bang, but I've been in the industry a lot longer than them. And it is really, really hard to not look and be like, oh, why am I not blowing yet? But I think I'm happier with what I have because I've got a longevity career. Like I'm 10 years, I'm still growing. Like I'm just about to announce an American tour, and there's still so much that I haven't done and I've got to do. So again, I look very much at my friend Sam Devine, and she's now 22, 23 years in the industry and at her absolute peak now. So that means I've still got double the time I've already been in to go. So success for me is just being happy.
The numbers as well. I mean, 1.5 million like streams a month. I mean, that's just like phenomenal.
I don't understand. Like, it's mad. That to me is success. I'm very, very happy with that. Like to have my music do what it does. that makes me know I'm successful. I don't care about selling out gigs. The music is for me the passion.
Does it feel natural to you to be such a well-known performer and DJ? Is it, does it sink in? Do you have to pinch yourself every now and again when you go on and everyone is just dancing back to you,
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing is when the crowd are singing your records that you've spent months in the studio making. Yeah. That's the strangest thing. And I'll never get my head around that ever. Like ever. Weird. So
and
weird.
You've also collaborated, because there's a couple of other clients that I look after as well, alongside yourself, that you might know of, and a couple of those is Roger Sanchez and Robosonic, and you've worked with them. What's it like working with such big artists like that as well, such big collaborators?
And the weirdest thing is that both of them came to me, which is even more mind-blowing, because especially Robosonic, he makes a lot of like deeper stuff, which of course Roger is a god. I adore him, but Robo is a lot of the music that I used to start playing when I was sort of coming in. So to have him then come to me was wanting a collab, and I was just like, you don't realize what your sound has done musically for my inspiration and my drive. So this would be an honor to work with you. And my next single is with Roger, and I just can't believe that I'm doing a track with one of the absolute legends of house music. Like, mad. It's a mad year.
And that's a perfect way to sort of cap the interview. I'm not going to keep you too long, because I know that you've got to rush off to do another gig because you are that busy.
I'm going to play in the sunshine and I'm terrified.
Yay. I do not envy you with this, Jimmy. I do not envy you. But
don't want to go on a guest list then, no.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Absolute pleasure. I have been looking forward to doing this interview with you for quite some time. Yes, so thank you so much for sharing your story and being so open as well, because obviously the topic around pride and coming out and all of that is a very sensitive topic. So we really do appreciate at Sentric the fact that you've done that. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.